Coming up this Friday on Retrograde Video for a 1 hour special, I'm joined by Ron Wasserman, the man behind the iconic themes and music from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, X-Men and many others. Go, go, Power Rangers!
I just did it on a keyboard. So it was fulfilling a part of me because it really is. I've played piano my whole life and I love piano, but I love guitar even more. Since I couldn't play the damn thing, I needed to learn how to fake the damn thing. People would just stop by the house. ZZ Top would stop by the house and hang out or go over. And I remember spending Christmas evening with John Entwistle from The Who, who was just hammered and was cooking a pig in front of me but had a thick Cockney accent. So I just kept smiling. I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. Plus he was drunk as shit. Like the pig? Like, yeah, pig.
3 years ago, a huge comet smashed into it and caused it to explode, wiping out everyone. The entire Saiyan race was destroyed.
People years later, it's some probably Morphicon thing, because I don't do that many of them. And I just couldn't help at one point to look over at them near the end of the panel. I said, so what's it feel like to have done the show that did great? I'm happy for you. But to be known for having the worst theme in the entire franchise. And they were horrified. And when the panel ended, they all went off to one side and I turned their back to me like an armadillo. It was kind of funny. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here.
So I'm here with Ron Wasserman. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, I'm sure many people will be familiar with your work from Power Rangers and X-Men and lots of other stuff as well. Dragon Ball Z. The list goes on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be the longest introduction we've ever done. But firstly, I want to get into kind of how things all began for you. What was this thing right at the beginning of your journey where you thought, I want to be a musician right at the beginning? What was that did you have a moment for you?
Not really. It was becoming obvious in my early 20s that I was going to starve if I didn't figure out what to do. And I'd never considered music as a business because I didn't know anybody in it. And I didn't hang out with other musicians or bands. So I decided this might be the best way. People have always said I'm good at it. Why not give it a shot? So I started joining bands and then taking bands over and getting into band fights and all the exciting things that go along with it and all the craziness. But, it was pretty great. And that's when I decided I'm in for the long haul. Now I need to find the right band so I can become a rock star and retire by 30 or OD or something cool like that.
Because you started really young, didn't you? I read somewhere it was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
5 years old.
Yeah, I started playing at 3 and had my first little published work at 5.5 for finger exercise books for piano players, not people who just do finger exercises.
But that's just crazy. Publishing at 5. It feels like you're destined for something. I think if you're already going down that road at that age.
But you get pushed so hard at that age to learn classical perfectly and become this classical player. And I would record what the teacher would play, and then I would do my own variation of it. I know how to listen and read music. I don't know how to read and play music. Chord charts, of course. But so they'd get pissed and ask me to leave, which happened really in except junior high, where I played clarinet in the orchestra. I was always politely asked to move on, buddy. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I mean, what was this kind of moment for you where you transitioned from being what I would call maybe a more typical musician in a band
Mhm.
to going over to doing stuff in kind of TV shows and that, like, where does that transition happen? Because, you know, for a lot of musicians, it's, I want to be on stage, I want to do this.
Well, I always, I've always had performance anxiety
Mm.
and I hate playing live. I mean, there was one time, which we can get into later, for touring that was good because we knew it so well. But also, like the 80s, I was so close to being homeless and
Wow.
in so much debt using credit cards, to pay for everything. But I mean, it was pretty dismal. I was pretty lost. So a friend of mine that I knew that I'd been in a band with, one of the people that we always fought, he had a job at this company, Saban Entertainment, and he asked if I want to come in and just engineer for one of their composers. So I spent 8 hours with the guy. The first 7 hours, he just smoked dope, and then for 1 hour, he blew out these. He was a trumpet player, great guy, and he just blew out 3 1-minute cues, pieces of music for the show with an
Mm.
alternate ending. I said, "What do you get for this?" He said, "Well, they take all the rights, but I get 150 a cue." And
Interesting.
figured, you just made 450 bucks. I've I love scores. I'll start learning about how to score stuff. So
Mm.
they hired me in part-time, then full-time, but I lived at that studio and just kept writing things, submitting them. The producers would tear me a new ass, break me of the songwriting format, and finally started getting it. But I was always writing songs and working with songwriters during this time
Mm.
too. So I had to kind of separate, how do you score compared to songwriting? Completely different thing.
Mm.
And then,
Um,
I was there. It took 3 years, and I think I had a couple little cuts and things. And I may have done it. Excuse me.
sorry.
It's our dry California air. And I may have done a theme for something called King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, which I forgot about, but people brought to my attention. And I know my style, so I think I did that. But really, it was just bits and pieces and engineering for the other composers until they needed a theme for X-Men, and that really kicked everything off. From
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point on, then I was a full-time composer.
Mm. I mean, I had read that you kept up to that point. You kept getting these creative notes from Saban saying, you know, you're too fast, you're too heavy.
Oh yeah.
You're apparently turning up, blasting out Black Sabbath.
But I mean, I was just doing very funny stuff. There was this guy that did films in the 40s that named Danny Kaye. And when you're a kid, when I was a kid, you have three television stations. So one of these films is on, it's either that or it's the news. So you're going to watch this. And this guy delivered his vocals so fast. And it just always impressed me as kind of a challenge. He probably would have been a great rapper today,
Mm.
but he did this stuff. So when they would give me direct to home video, things like Three Little Pigs, they wanted like a little oboe. I'm going, the Three Little Pigs. And I'm doing, and he hopped and he popped and he popped and he hopped and he blew those houses down and he blah, 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 and just extreme energy. And they're like, stop. You can't do this for kids. And yeah, you can.
I mean, was there always this kind of slant towards kind of more rock based stuff? Because I mean, you obviously kind of go in that direction, whereas you look at most other kids shows, you're going to be hard pressed to find rock music in it at any point,
Yeah.
even theme song anywhere. Was that something that you latched onto because it hadn't really been done?
I wasn't aware that it hadn't been done, but I love guitar so much. and I can't play guitar. So I was learning early on, even before Power Rangers or X-Men, how to emulate playing guitar, how to fake it on a keyboard. And if you put enough time into it, even back then, it sounds pretty damn good, pretty
Yeah.
real. So when given the chance to be, a real great rock guitar player, I just did it on a keyboard. So it was fulfilling a part of me because it really is. I've played piano my whole life and I love piano, but I love guitar even more. I just absolutely love it. Almost every style. It's just the most beautiful instrument, acoustic and electric. So since I couldn't play the damn thing, I needed to learn how to fake the damn thing.
I mean, it took me decades to realize this. So you had me fooled. I only realized like, oh, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And I was like, really?
I knew I had really accomplished the sound when I was hanging out with Eddie Van Halen. We became friends. We were hanging out for a couple months. And at the beginning, he handed me a guitar because he had to learn it for his son, Wolfie.
Yeah.
And he said, "How did you play it?" And I went over to his grand piano and said, like this. And he just said, great job. I was so terrified at that moment, like he was going to smash my head with the guitar. That would have been the end of the Frankenstein guitar.
I mean, that must be something. If you can fool Eddie Van Halen, I think you've done it,
And he said, so do some rhythms on the piano. Let's go up to the studio. So 5150s right on the property. And, I'm terrified. But he gets on drums and says, let's go. So we just jammed for a while. I don't think it was any good, but we jammed for a while. It was pretty fun.
Cool. Yeah, that's
He's
just
a great drummer. Yeah. Amazing drummer. Of course.
I've seen Wolfgang who can just play everything now.
Yeah.
So I can imagine Eddie would be the same pretty much.
And Woofy this was 99 or 2000. Woofy wasn't playing anything, wasn't even interested at all. He just one day picked it up as a teenager and became a genius.
That's just sickening, quite frankly. If you go,
I
feel like playing everything now.
I want a blood transfusion from Woofy. See if I could suddenly play guitar.
Of course, going back to X-Men, that's the first breakthrough moment for you.
Yeah.
Can you recall kind of how that song came together? Because it's just so iconic. And it's like it's the first kind of real big thing that you've done. And out the gate, it's something that just lasts to this day, isn't it?
Well, the guy who got me into Saban, he was in a band, 80s band that was very weird but fun. And he had this song called Piranha Canoe. I don't even know what that is. But he had kind of this digga 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 bass line. So just as a starting point, to his credit, he said, how about if we get something going like this? And he did a little modification on the bass line. I said, that's it. And got to work on it. And it's a blur, but it was 2 weeks to get it done because there was so many notes on the mix. We can't really hear the bass. The bass is up now. We can't really hear the hi-hats. I remember there's a ton of hi-hat tracks. That always cracks me up. They just wanted that ticka ticka ticka, but sounds cancel each other out. So we had probably 47, 46 tracks running because everything was on 2-inch tape back then. So that was fun. I was very happy when they said it's done. Thank God. What's next? And then started working on score stuff for it, and everything else they started asking me to write themes for or score. And all of a sudden, Fast and Energetic was working great, which was good because I've done slower themes, but they're just, I don't know.
You
They
want a bit
work.
of energy, don't you? You want something.
Yeah, I wanted.
that's-
Yeah. Yeah, it brings out the the kid in me. It makes me
Yeah.
hyper.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember because I'm a little bit younger, so I mean, I was born in '93, so
Sure.
I can remember the weekend billings of you'd have X-Men and then it'd be followed up by Power Rangers, and I'm like, this is like the most explosive stuff I've ever seen. Just like
Yeah.
constant, like the theme music, everything. It's just killing you. I mean, speaking of that, of course, the following year, you would get that Project Mighty Morphin Power Rangers come through.
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, what do you make of this show? I mean, you were given this footage. It's footage from Japan. I mean, what's the pitch? Because there's nothing
I'm
like
giving
it.
nothing. The pitch is Fox. Saban's doing a presentation for Fox tomorrow. We need a theme
Wow.
tonight. You have to finish
No
it tonight because I
pressure.
always worked at night because I wanted to get there at 6 p.m. when all the execs and everybody were gone. Because back then, I mean, there were no rules. It was it was like insane what was going on in the studios and everywhere. Everything wasn't controlled. I mean, we did some bad shit, but they came in and said we need a theme. And my only question later, because I don't even think I saw anything, they just gave me the name, maybe a drawing, and I said it's morphin, not morphine, right? Because at first I was going Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That can't be right. But I wanted to work. I was working on a song with my band Fisher, my ex-wife, not then ex-wife, and I wanted to finish up this other song. So I was kind of pissed that I had to do this. So I just blew it out in 2.5 hours or so. I already knew the guitar sound I liked. The riff came right to me. Melodies are like my specialty. It's no problem at all. I didn't have to write verses. This is just a 1 minute theme. It's just that intro straight to the chorus and then chorus end. And then the next day when I went in, they said Fox loved it. And great, start working on a score for it and do whatever you want. So started writing stuff even before I had Picture. And then Picture came in, and that was brutal because we were doing 52 episodes a season in so I guess it was 52 in 6 months.
Crazy.
Along with, we also need score for this. And could you write a theme for, we have a show, Sweet Valley High. Can you do a theme for that? We have this VR Troopers. We need a theme for that and some score. So I was there 80 hours a week.
Wow.
Always. And I loved it. I didn't even realize how tired I was getting, but it was great.
Man, it's Green Ranger! Come on! We're in trouble! We don't have enough power left to finish this fight!
If this thing were only at full power, we'd crush him! We gotta hang in!
Give me all the power that's left!
Obviously, it would turn into this huge phenomenon. I mean, you weren't even like a proper singer before that, were you? You didn't even think of yourself as a singer. Yet all of a sudden now you've ended up.
Correct. I put terrible guide vocals on for other singers I worked with, which was good enough for them to know what I meant. And then, they would start singing and I'd produce them. But yeah, this is the first time. And by this time, by the way, with other projects, I got so tired of dealing with musicians not showing up that I kind of learned to play everything. So prior to this, when I was in the 80s bands, I could go to any club anywhere in LA. So I decided once and they always gave me a free ticket to a beer ticket. So, free beer, got to go. So I would go and I watch drummers for a month, then I'd watch bass players, then I'd focus on them locking, then I'd watch guitar players and watch everybody else. And so I learned how that all worked just by watching all these great local bands. So that paid off later. When things like Power Rangers came up, I didn't think, oh, I got to get a guitar player and a bass player and a drummer. And then the singing, the voice just happened. I had to do a vocal. I didn't even think I'd be final on it. And I learned that if I gargled ice cold Diet Pepsi, that it tightened my chords up and I could find that sound. But I'm singing through my throat. So like my sinuses will, start to expand a bit. My vision gets blurry, but it's a sound. So it's what I have to do. But it really does hurt at times.
Wow. Are we literally putting your body on the line?
It's pathetic. It's kind of pathetic. It really is.
I mean, of course, we touched on it there. In addition to the theme song, obviously, you wrote other music for the show as well. In that kind of rock, kind of hard rock kind of theme. At this point, were they just kind of letting you have some freedom, or was there?
There was no notes.
Yeah,
there was nothing. It was do another song this week, and along with everything else you're doing, and that was fairly easy. And then the Power Rangers started having a lot of problems, meaning kids were out there getting violent, and the parents weren't going to blame themselves or their precious children. So the fault must be watching somebody in a spandex costume punching a pig. Surely that's what made my son beat the hell out of his sister. But Saban held all the fundraisers and was very close to the Clintons. So every fundraiser in LA was at Haim Saban's house. Al Gore's wife was doing all this, trying to stop rap, and it's Satan's music. And then they took it out a little bit on me and said, well, what if the songs were more positive and didn't have minor chords? And you never use words like fight or combat or anything that could incite violence. So I literally got an edict from the White House to make my songs happier, just like the church did to composers in the 16th century. So I was flattered. It was actually good because it forced me to find a trick to make them just as heavy and dark, but with a smiley chord.
Because I mean, looking through these songs now, you realize when you get a bit older that there's some real kind of deeper stuff in there. Like with "We Need a Hero." Like I was listening to it this afternoon. I was like, this is like really sad, and it's like kind of snuck in there.
It's a total political song. We Need a Hero is a political song. I was feeling at that time in the 90s that, well, the whole world, but especially in the United States, that leadership was starting to become more and more corrupt, more and more lopsided, less about everybody working. And I thought other than this kids show, there's no real heroes in real life anymore. There's no more Martin Luther Kings or Kennedys or anybody else. It's all advertising and bullshit. So that's what that song's about. Almost all these songs have these underlying things. One's about a bar. It's called I Know a Place. And we would cut out every night, the guys, to go grab a few beers around 11 p.m. at this bar called the Voyeur, the now Voyeur, around the corner. So it worked great in the show, but it's about getting a beer.
Turning into the Power Rangers and going for a beer, can't beat it.
Yeah.
I mean,
because we didn't need to be out until 8 a.m, so we had plenty of time.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I can imagine, over the years, the technology has changed dramatically from that era, like night and day.
Night and day.
Could you kind of run me through when you were going into the studio, what what's the average day compared to what it would be now?
Sure. So I would show up, and to load in, there's devices called samplers,
Mm,
and they can have different sounds, and you're loading in actual sounds that have been recorded, even though you're playing them. So the first thing was to go in and take these two giant optical drives and plug them in and load up. I should go step by step example and load up the samplers, the two samplers, which took, if it worked, which it did about 80% of the time, took about 7 to 9 minutes to load these sounds.
wow.
Actually, we'll keep moving on. So do that. That was coffee time, walk around, say hello to everybody, figure out what time we're going to go have a beer. Just visiting. Come back in. Computer is only MIDI, meaning you can't record anything on the computer yet. It's strictly sending data to those units through the keyboard I play, and it's recording digital information.
Mm.
Way up, practically on the ceiling, is a humongous 19-inch television, tube television, and giant speakers. And we had other speakers. You get all the boards going, you get all your channels set up, and then you start scoring. But for everything to lock, because you're recording to tape, magnetic tape, two machines. So if I'm scoring a scene with Bulk and Skull, I have to do a pre-roll, rewind, and wait 30 seconds for everything to lock. Then it lets me know. And then I've got to play it right. But I could edit what I was playing, but other stuff like vocals, I mean, there was nothing to fix anything back then. And you just wait forever, and you do your little bit and then knock yourself out of record, punch out. So it was an extremely slow process, but everything was slower.
Mm.
But yeah, it was a lot of sitting around, Today, I could come in, load a full orchestra setup in the show, literally from booting the computer to ready to go, minute and a half.
Wow.
And most of that is booting the computer. As far as loading sounds, it's seconds.
Yeah.
And the sounds are far, far superior. But it's extremely fast. Everything's digital. You have to record a vocal if you're a little late, like, move it. I mean, it's great.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
never go back to tape. I would never go back to that setup. And the giant board and the heat in the room from all the gear. And it was just, and you have these giant rolls of tape, and you only have, I think, 9 minutes of recording per tape. So switching rolls, locking again, blah, 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 blah. Just, it feels so ancient, and today, so different. I got into digital recording the moment it was available. Late, probably 1997. I just dug in, anything digital, and it was shit, but it was still better than tape.
Because, I wanted to highlight that, because you're saying, you've got over 50 plus episodes you're putting out. And then there's this whole process that you have to go through before you've even done anything, really.
Oh, it takes forever.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And my friend that was doing sound effects on everything, I go in and watch him work on X-Men for a bit. He had the same thing. You have to roll back, wait for the machines to lock, put himself in record, hit the explosion, and get out. And if you happen to make a mistake and you're on the wrong, you also have to arm the track you're going to record. I mean, it's just, then you got to go back and check it to picture. So there's another 30 seconds back and go, shit, I'm a little bit late. Re-record it, go back 30 seconds, wait, re-record it, back 30 seconds, check to make sure it's in sync. It's just, I'm surprised he didn't shoot everybody. Go completely nuts. The sound effects has so many tracks. It's a lot more than music, a lot. Yeah, when he's been at Warner Brothers 25 years, and we've been best friends forever. and he'll show me a session and 200-300 tracks of just stacks of sound effects for especially for animation show, like something like Bob's Burgers or something. Just more than you would think.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so crazy. I had noticed, obviously you were gonna depart Saban at one point, a bit later on there. But before that, you were planned to at least do the Power Ranger movie, but then obviously circumstances had changed that.
Well, Fox, when I met with the head of music there, his name is Robert Kraft, great guy. And we met, and I said, so you want to do the same thing that they did with Batman? This is just an hour and a half television episode. He said, exactly. It's going to look better, but we want the rock sound. So they would send me the dailies, meaning stuff they just shot. It's very rough, quick edits, and I would score to it. Fox would call and say, it's perfect. You're going to have to really bust ass. It's going to be about 7-8 weeks, and you're going to have 6 weeks to score this thing. Like an hour and a half. I'll do that in a week in my head. On the outside, I'm like, oh no. But anyways, Saban, since they took all the rights and listed themselves as composer, he and Shuki Levy, 20th Century Fox, they said, well, our name goes on, not Wasserman's. And Fox said, no, we're union and we don't do that. His name goes on. So they took me off the film, which was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I gave them one more chance to redeem themselves. I went in and asked for a share of writers. A song is split into publishing and writers, and they said no, and that was it. I left.
Wow.
But I was still there for a while after the movie thing. It just
soured.
I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
They was just so worried that if my name was on something that I was going to get approached for other projects and I'd be gone. I never even met anybody at Fox. I never even met the producers. Well, one of them on Power Rangers. I had no idea who worked on X-Men.
Wow.
Yeah, they made sure I didn't meet any of those people. So they were just trying to, keep me in my little box.
It says to me in a very strange way, it says that they at least feel that you're very valuable. If they're kind of afraid to lose you in a strange kind of way.
Which is why I thought it was odd at the end. Because they, ever since they started with Inspector Gadget, I guess early 80s, long before I knew them, I mean, they were, and Saban owned all the rights for Power Rangers outside of Japan. Yeah. So, I mean, the money was ridiculous what was coming into the company. So what I was asking for seemed small, and I didn't want it to be retro. I said, I know this won't be for the stuff I did, but it'll be for everything in the future. And they just said no.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, you're never going to have a hit theme again. And they never did.
I mean, this is it. I mean, obviously it wasn't exclusive to you either. I mean, obviously the 3 original actors as well had gone just before the movie. So there's a bit of an unfortunate reputation around that at that point. It's just a bit sad, isn't it? Because, for me personally, when I watched that movie, it felt like there was a few things missing. I was waiting for the rock music to come in. I was I was like, it's not really the same cast. I like, as a kid, you get attached to these things. You can accept a degree of change. You can accept like better costumes, stuff like that. But you don't, it's like, I don't know, if you've got this old skateboard and you get this attachment to it and they go, but here's a new shiny one. You kind of still want the old one though, don't you?
But they didn't want my name on shit. They wouldn't even let me go in and do the vocal on the re-record for the song. They decided they were going to have the guy from Mr. Big do it. And in no respect, disrespect, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a paying gig. They
Yeah.
just go in and sing it. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing when composers mostly try to do rock or songwrite. For the most part, it doesn't have the angst. They're like, well, let me think about how this works with music theory, and the emotion here is action. I know it should be quick, but they're not from the fucking gutter like I was. Yeah, I could just as easily have started, a band. I would have been in Black Sabbath if I was, born much earlier. That would have been my thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's sincere. You can always tell the sincerity, and that's why
Yes.
that score worked even better than the X-Men score for me,
Yeah.
because it was just dirty, nasty, grungy. It was like I was heading a metal band. I loved it.
I mean, for me, it was it just like having looked at the original Japanese footage as well, just the action scenes.
Yeah.
It's so transformative putting your music into it. It really changed. It's the same footage, but it really changes it. It gives it a whole new energy. And, even if, when the Zords are all coming together and it's got this like Van Halen kind of thing going on. And, as a kid, it's like, it makes it like the most exciting thing you've ever seen. It's just
Plus I wasn't writing for kids. I was writing for adults.
Yeah. But I
mean,
think that's the thing though. I think kids know, like if you take it really seriously, it rubs off, like the kids invested, right?
Absolutely. But the industry, for the most part, doesn't know. And that I haven't written another, I've done energetic stuff, but I haven't really written another rock theme, because whatever show came up, I've written in a million styles. So it's not like, it's my one style, but I've suggested it. And I always get the look like, that won't work. You can't do that. Still, all right. All right. I'll settle down here.
Have you ever just gone like, case in point, like, it worked.
You want to, but when you're in a room full of show creators and network people, you just say, okay, well, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Because if you say that, then they'll get upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very, very much a tightrope walk, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Even those people amongst themselves, everybody's very careful, Got a lot of egos going on.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you go on and do work on the cult classic Dragon Ball Z.
At home.
I mean, at home. So you're living the dream at this point. Like,
I'm scoring it in my living room.
Was that kind of more? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Was that kind of more enjoyable for you? Because I got the impression off the gate that again there probably wasn't any memos for that.
Nothing. That was a do what you want.
Yeah.
We do not. We are obligated to do the music on the show. We don't care at all about it, and I loved it. But because of it, probably again kind of lucky because of the technology and the way I was scoring it at home. That's why there's these long scenes where sounds just build, which ended up working great for the show. But there was no real option to stop. I'm scoring this on a VHS player. One side has time code, which sounds like it sends us that code to the computer to lock up. And the other track is my dialogue and effects. And I never even ever, it was just wild. So I was scoring these things at home. And as soon as, I was just banging them out. They would just send VHF to S after VHS of the show. So that's why there's long passages in it, but it ended up working great. And I love that show. And I was really bummed when it was going away, and I tried to contact, it was some company in Texas, that production company, but they never got back to me. But that's just, it always works out for a reason. It really does.
This is it, right? You know, obviously you'd gone on and done lots of other stuff after that, you know, SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, I imagine that was an interesting gig.
Yeah, my friend Nick Carr, who's been the music editor on that thing, and he co-composes some stuff. He would call and say, I need some orchestral stuff for a haunted toy store, or I need rock stuff for a wrestling match. So I just started handing him stuff, and to this day, he still pops it in. So it's not a ton of stuff, but I've always loved that show. You know, my son, who's now 21, used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
So to work on that show was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was good. And after I left Saban, because I jumped without a safety net, and I was like, oh shit, I've got to work. And then I ended up 2 weeks later working with this guy, Bob Ezrin, who'd produced Pink Floyd, and he had a gaming company. And my first project was Tamagotchi. It's the little egg that did a game, and then Ace Ventura, and then 2 titles with Monty Python. And those are the main ones, and a couple others. And then they went bankrupt. While I was doing that, I started working with this guy, John Anderson, lead singer for a band called Yes. So I spent 2 years with him while scoring the games and doing commercials. That's another thing that was coming up, that my ex-wife was getting a ton of commercials. So I'm writing commercials for everybody that she's singing with. That was fun.
Wow.
And, through John, it was great. I met, people would just stop by the house. ZZ Top would stop by the house and hang out, or go over. And I remember spending Christmas evening with John Entwistle from The Who, who was just hammered and was cooking a pig in front of me, but had a thick Cockney accent. So I just kept smiling. I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. Plus, he was drunk as shit. Like a pig? Like, yeah, pig.
I mean,
so it led to these great adventures.
Yeah, but I mean that is, even in just that small window there is so much variety going on here. You know, doing a commercial 1 minute and then working with John Anderson the next. It's like, I mean, how do you
doing like his new agey stuff?
Yeah,
and producing him, doing a little co-writing, but really producing and engineering in his living room, which was great. And then knowing I've got to run home and work on a bit of this game, and I have to submit something for Daisy Sour Cream by tomorrow at 11 a.m.
I mean,
and then when you get the commercial, then they want, okay, we love the 60-second. Now we need a 45, a 30, a 15, 10, 5-second variations. You finish that and like, okay, and this one's about our hash brown special. So take the song and now make it about hash browns. Oh, this was all Bob Evans, a restaurant called Bob Evans, which probably did 40 spots for.
Wow.
It was great. It was great. And Toyota and Coca-Cola and Nike, and
just keeps going, doesn't it? I mean,
it was a good distraction. It's very different than scoring.
Yeah. Because I was going to say the hats that you have to put on here for these different things, they all require different types of stuff. I mean, how do you adapt to these different things?
That just happens.
Yeah.
That just happens. I can't go out and trim my tree, or I get I cut my arm open, but I can write whatever's necessary. And it has been all over the map, and it is shocking how it comes to me, but it's in my DNA. And it just is always there.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, obviously, years later, well, I mean, you'd first go and do the theme music for Power Rangers SPD, but then obviously you've got this. Fun. Because obviously different company at this point. So Disney,
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, was that just did it feel like a completely different thing?
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
it felt different. It was just interesting. They called and they said, we want to go back to the rock thing. Are you interested in submitting something? And I think I had something for them the next day. And then I was out of town and they called me and they said, we love it. It's a go. Can you just add a siren? And I
Wow.
said, I'll do that as soon as I get back. And I called my sound effects friend. I said, send me some sirens. I got to get this in right away. And that was a go. And then the following year, they wanted to continue because it was huge for them.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me score the show. Disney and Nickelodeon do not let the theme writer do the score or the composers do the theme.
Right.
Don't ask why. I have no idea why. And so Mystic Force came up. That was absolutely a go. They loved it. And then they called and said there's a couple young producers and they'd like to hear some rap. And I said, I'll submit something, but just put the C in front of it right now because it's going to really be fucking crap. It's going to be terrible. And it was. I sent it and he called back. He goes, you're right.
Oh man. I mean, what I don't
it's
know.
awful.
Maybe I was getting older at that point, but I don't know. It didn't the rap thing wasn't for me, I've got to say.
Well, I was on a panel with those people years later at some probably Morphicon thing because I don't do that many of them. And I just couldn't help at one point to look over at them near the end of the panel. I said, so what's it feel like to have done the show that did great? I'm happy for you. But to be known for having the worst theme in the entire franchise. And they were horrified. And when the panel ended, they all went off to one side and I like turned their back to me like an armadillo. It was kind of funny. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. Because it didn't work. I mean, people were upset, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you can't win every time, I suppose, is it? It's one of them because I mean, there's like a new show every year, well, a new version of it every year at that point back then.
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy.
So that kept on. At that time, I'm still scoring a lot of shows for Deke, and I think I have CBS. And then a friend calls and says, "I have a producer friend that's doing a show with Betty White."
Weird. We're connected. We were about to, yeah.
You said, can you play piano on a theme I wrote? And he and I have been great friends. He's been with Rod Stewart forever. He's a great guitar player, great writer. But when he sent me the theme, I put the piano. I said, okay, when they reject it, I'm going to do some stuff tonight. So I just quickly banged out like 4 or 5 themes. He called, he said, they rejected. I said, send these. And then they took one and then he and I tweaked it up a little bit. And then they just said, hey, you want to score the show? We went, yeah. And I would go to shoot nights all the time. And then TV Land, that when they were doing original programming, came up, hey, we have a show with Cedric the Entertainer. You think you can do like R&B? I'm like, absolutely. And that was fun. And a show with Kirstie Alley, and then something else that was just not good. I mean, I got to hang out we did 4 seasons in 3 years. I got to hang out with Betty White every Friday night.
Yeah.
I taught her how to play drums.
Yes.
It was great.
I've seen the picture of of Betty White behind a drum kit, and I thought that's incredible. I mean, take us through that because it's going to be a bizarre.
It's bizarre.
Mental.
So they were having the girls all play in a band at a bar or something. I can't remember. And they said, you need to teach Betty, come on down and teach Betty to play drums. So the stage, you know, as anybody who's been to a television show filming knows, the stage is extremely long. And over there's the living room and here's the kitchen. And so we're off to the side. And her hearing was good, but not great at this point. Because I go up and I said, I'm just going to teach you how to fake it. Because down at the other end, the director's down there rehearsing. And so I'm showing her, she's like, I can't hear you, honey. So I started talking regular volume. I got down, I started showing her how to play. And then I hear yelling from the assistant director, "What's going on down there?" I said, "I'm teaching Betty to play drums." And you hear, "Oh, break everyone." And that was it. And I spent 15 minutes and she just picked it up.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't have to really play, but she had to make it look like she was really
Yeah.
playing. And she just loved it.
Wow.
She absolutely loved it. And then at the very last show we did was a musical. So I had to work with her and Carol Burnett on that. And that was really a lot of fun.
Mm.
All these people that, even a lot of them that I was too young to grow up with, but I knew who they were because my parents would watch this stuff. So it was pretty cool. Got to, I don't think there's anybody I didn't see when I was very, very young that wasn't a guest on that show.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it must be special when you've got, you know, people of that stature just kind of turning up and, you know, like somebody says, you know, "What are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm teaching Betty White how to play drums."
Yeah.
It's like I think you're winning at life if you're doing stuff like that. It just,
Oh,
you know,
I was having the best time ever.
yeah.
He's great. Or on Cedric when they said, "Oh, we're doing a full choir." I remember the producer, and they were used to me by now. I remember the guy called and he said, "We need a song. We're doing a full choir, and you know it's got to be uplifting." I said, "I got it right now," and hung up on him and recorded it in my phone immediately, and then worked it out. But it was fun because I got to work with this guy CeeLo Green, which I really liked.
Yeah.
So it was he and Cedric in a full choir, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So now I know I could write for choirs.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the variety that's going on there.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
fun and a lot going on during it. And then I was still doing those when Nickelodeon called and said, looking for a composer for the show, a show called The Thundermans. And I went in, and that's a thing where I actually wrote a very short rock theme for them. And although they almost fell out of their chairs laughing about how wrong it was, they appreciated it so much, the effort I made, that they offered me the gig.
so it did work. Yeah.
It totally worked. And the theme they ended up getting from theme writers was completely a different direction. But I was just trying to show up and demonstrate my work ethic. I'm here for a meeting. I've already put a day into this. Here's some rough ideas. Don't laugh anymore. That's enough laughing.
I mean,
So that was
what
great.
is,
We did 106 of those.
yeah. I mean, I know that the newest iteration of that, the Thunderman's Undercover, just picked up the Kids' Choice Awards. So it's, I mean, it's still,
it's great.
yeah. I mean, what do you feel it is about, you know, what kind of draws you to these kind of, what some would say is more kind of kid stuff, you know, kids shows? Is there a draw for you, or is it just, you know, this opportunity presents itself?
Well, I love it so much that if I was given the choice of a crime show or a kids show that were going to conflict, I would always take the kids show. It's just, there's something magical sitting in this room in an afternoon or evening, and this kid show is going on, and you need to write music for it, even just if it's to get to a commercial or, you know, there's an action scene, whatever's going on. There's something, it's magical in a way that adult television generally isn't. Can be, but it's more fun. I just love it. I absolutely love it. And it's always okay. The subject matter is always okay. Even when it's at the darkest, it's not horrible. So it's a good escape working on it too.
No, I can imagine. I get it.
especially now.
Yes, even more. I think we need more of an escape.
Yeah, I know.
um, I mean, obviously, recently there was the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers,
Mhm.
and the return of that with Once and Always.
Yeah,
Was
that was
this?
great.
Yeah, was that just like an instant? Yes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
director Simon. Yeah, he sent an email and said he just asked. We said we'd love to have you do it, and luckily I was right at the computer when that came in. And 30 seconds later, I just said, "Hell yes, I'm in." It's like wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it ran later and later and later, but I didn't care. I knew it was coming, and it was a ton of fun. I love doing it.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that many notes. I remember I got it around Christmas time or before, and they said we'd like to hear some stuff, which I'm used to, which is why I never get the end of the year up. Like to hear some stuff by January 3rd or 7th. So I went ahead and scored the whole film and sent them the entire thing. And he came back with 5 simple notes, and then the network came back with 3, literally at one point saying, "Can the last note when she says this line, can you go up instead of down?" Like, send, done.
Yeah.
And that's where technology is much better. With
Yes.
tape, I would have been like,
You just got to load that tape again.
yeah,
I mean, did
yeah,
it?
that was great. It was
Yeah.
great.
Did it just feel completely different? I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
you were there at the beginning.
that felt completely different.
Yeah.
It was just, finally had some serious subject matter.
Mm.
There's a death in it.
Yeah.
So it was nice to play up a bit of that tragedy and that emotion.
Mm.
So at the beginning, when part of my, it's a big blur. Whoever goes over the cliff and dies or whatever
Treating.
happens.
Yeah.
And
Treating.
I remember thinking, all right, I'm going to make kids cry
Mm.
because although the shot's good and the emotion's there, I'm going to make this so tragic and life changing and horrible. And I hope it worked.
I mean, I'm an adult man, and I'm sat there, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I felt when I was watching the first cut.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh my, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
They're addressing a serious,
Yeah.
something that really happened in their way. I mean, this is terrible. Yeah. So I love the film.
Mm.
And then Thundermans, of course, came back. I wrapped that up. That was hard because they wanted the sound changed slightly,
Yeah.
but they were shooting at this time in Canada. So the showrunners and everybody, when we shot it here, it was you shoot one a week for 2 weeks, take a week off. They were back there shooting 2 a week, writing them. So they have to write the episode for 2 weeks from now, and they're shooting the one that they wrote 2 weeks ago, but 2 a week. So they didn't have a lot of time to get back to me. Meanwhile, I'm panicking because I'm changing the sound. And then finally, I found the sound they were looking for, which is just a slight variation on the original sound. But these 26 needed a lot of score, not because they're bad, they just were music intensive. So once I really got going on it in January and we finished in May, the previous 106 episodes, I'd written 1,500 cues for. These 26, I wrote 770 cues for. So there was a lot of music in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was great. And I know they're doing a film. I didn't do the last film. I didn't really want to. I like the guys who did it. I think they'll be doing the next film and we'll probably come back for another season.
Mm.
And then last week, Fortnite came out with a big Power Rangers thing.
I mean, you can't get
They
rid of this thing, can you?
they contacted me. Well, this was good because I re-recorded all the songs I liked in 2012 on a whim,
Yes.
and then I got into it and did it. So they want it. So I'm the only person that has the master recording where you could split just the vocal, just the instruments out, because Disney destroyed or lost all the original masters for the show when they bought it in 2001. So Fortnite said, you own the master, because when you sync to picture, there's two sides. There's the sync, SYNC, and those are the people that be Saban, who owns the copyright, owns the composition, controls all that. Then there's the master, the actual recording. So I was thrilled, and it came out, and we'll see how it does. It's only there till the end of the month, which I didn't understand, but my son explained to me. I'm like, they take it away? Why would
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never caught on to that one why they take it away. I mean, I don't know whether they're going to be tempted to leave it on a bit longer, because it seems like it's just everywhere at the minute. Like, I scroll through my Facebook and it keeps appearing. Like, it seems like people are,
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, they may be rethinking it. Well, they only know because they're the only ones that can see the numbers.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
If there's a much higher percentage of people focusing on it, they'll probably find a cool way to, hey, we didn't mean August 29th, we meant September 29th, and they'll continue it. But that's fun. So that's kind of the latest thing. So in July, they had sent me the first contract, and I thought, I have heard of this, but my son was home with his girlfriend. I went down, I said, tell me about Fortnite. I'm like, oh my God, it's the biggest game in the world. There's hundreds of millions of people play this. I said, oh, okay. Thanks. So finally, it's funny because my son when he was very young, he'd always hear his mom singing on commercials.
Yeah.
Which a lot, because we were doing a lot. But he kind of missed what I was doing. And then when he was really young, I was doing the adult sitcoms, which he didn't really care about. And then as soon as he got old enough to watch kids shows, I went back to kids shows. And all this is good because he knows I do a lot, but he's never really thought about it. Fortnite lined everything up. His girlfriend, his friends, everybody knows. It's like, fuck, your dad's in Fortnite. So I'm fine. It took a long time, but it lined up. So now I'm
finally
very cool.
Get your cool dad moment.
Yeah, for another 9 days.
Yeah.
Then it's over.
I mean, you mentioned obviously there that, you re-recorded all these songs on a whim. What made you go, you know what, I'm going to do that? Was it just the advancement in tech?
It was the advancement in age, to tell you the truth, because, it's doing that thing. It was, I wanted to see if I could still hit those high notes. So I just quickly ran up, a verse and chorus. Well, I knew the verse would be easy. And I wanted to see if I could sound, or how differently I would sound from 1993. And I put the vocals down and went, it sounds exactly the same. I'm going to recut the theme for fun. Then I thought, well, I'm allowed to cut the other songs, because even though I wrote them but don't own them, and I sang them, but I'm not listed. I'm listed, but that doesn't matter. I can basically do what any band in the world could do. I'm going to cover my stuff. Yeah. There's no restriction. You fill out these licenses so the publisher knows, and I'm covering my own stuff. Some I have I have the 100% writers. I can't, like, I Will Win or something. But basically I did a cover album of me.
I mean, that's very unique.
And then I just thought, this will be fun. see what happens with it. And, it's still alive and kicking.
And it's had this kind of second life with Fortnite going on now.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I just did it for fun, and then I was happy I could do it.
Yeah.
A personal challenge.
I think I'm going to sign off with. I'm going to throw a bit of a hypothetical one out at you. If you could have like a dream project to work on, or if you can pick anything, what would be that thing? If you had the keys to whatever, and you can make it whatever music you want to make it. You could make it rock music. You could do anything with it. Would there be a particular dream thing for you, or have you already kind of felt like you've done that?
No. There's a couple things I would really still love to do. I remember the film Chernobyl that just had this dark, dystopian, kind of grungy score to it, and I thought that would be a lot of fun. I've done that in games, one that may come out some year. We've been working on it forever, but it'd be great to do a TV series like that. Or I prefer TV series over movies. Movies are just a whole different vibe. There's a lot more people involved. The risk is much higher for them, and TV is a little just my thing. I like television better, but something incredibly dark where I could. There was a show on NBC I almost had called Grimm that my friend was doing, and
so I remember this.
I was going to get it until the director decided to bring in the guy who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, whatever. But I remember at that point when I lost, I remember telling my friends, the producers, I said, just don't turn it into that score where they're walking through the forest and it's just one low string note going, which is exactly what it ended up. But what I delivered to them, there was no footage yet. I went out and recorded diesel trucks at a trucking area with their squeaky brakes, and I would slow it down 2,000% and put filters on it. So it had this sound nobody had ever really heard before. It was gritty. And I said, then I can chop this up. So if something's going on, instead of this low note, we'll have these trucks doing this like, but it's not going to sound like a truck. Let's sound design here. And they said, that's great. And then I didn't get it. And that was it.
I mean, do you think that you're going to use that one day? That's the closest
I got to that.
Yeah. Do you think
you'll come up?
Yeah. You've just got it in the catalog.
Yeah. I have to go back and re-record it. I'm sure I have it saved on a drive somewhere, but I'll go back and I'll dig it up. Or just, it'll be quicker to just go out and re-record it now and tweak it. It'll sound better too.
I mean, it's a great idea. It's not something I'd have thought of. It's just I love that. It's very unique, to go out and, I'm going to record this truck and then turn it into something completely different.
And it sounded wild, especially the more you slow it down and stretch it. It's just 4 seconds of a diesel truck coming up and braking has a million sounds in it. You slow it way down. It's otherworldly.
Yeah. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, well, someday.
I was going to say we'll keep an eye out for the truck noise.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been really cool speaking with you, Ron.
You too.
The journey that you've been on is quite something, and for me,
it's a lot of luck. I mean, I know you have to have the skill, but it really is worked out well. Right place at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, for me, personally, I just kind of want to thank you because, you're a big part of my childhood. I've been hearing your stuff since I was about 4. So it's bizarre.
That's wonderful.
My father, God bless him, he'd have to come down at 7 a.m. to put the tape on to record it. And that's, you know, in the UK it was aired on a Sunday, so like my dad had been to the bar the previous night.
Ah, your dad and I would have got along great.
Exactly. But like, you know, he's having to come down and record the show, and you know, because for me it was everything. You know, 4-year-old, I'm like, you know, this is like so different, and it's just so unique and exciting. And of course, you know, you played a big part in that. So, you know,
Well, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
doing it.
I'm glad I was part of your childhood.
Oh, a big part, man. You know, I
Seems
mean,
like
for
you
me,
turned out very well. So good for you.
I mean, I've done my best.
Good. That's all we can all do.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing because, you know, for me it was, you know, I didn't really have like friends growing up, so it was like in a weird way as a 4-year-old, it's like they're kind of my friends, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like they're my heroes as a kid, and it sticks with you. And I think that that's the magic of children's TV. You know, it sticks with you, I think, more because, you know, you remember those early years.
Oh, it sure does. I remember the stuff I watched growing up. I mean, it was some weird stuff out there. HR puffin stuff.
Yes.
You ever look? Yeah, it was strange. I mean, seriously, it could be more obvious about a drug show.
Yes. Oh man, it's been so cool speaking with you, man. And
Yeah, you too. It's been wonderful.